Tom Fauntleroy with Eyeball Media. We're back on the show again. Got an excellent gentleman coming on. He's waited his turn for a long time. Finally got the head coaching gig at Columbia River High School in Vancouver, Washington. I want to welcome Dewayne Patterson to the show. Coach Patterson, tell us who you are, what it is that you do, and what college you played at.
My name is Dewayne Patterson. For people out there, probably know me as DP. I played my college football at Chaffey Community College, and from there, I was able to earn a scholarship to go play football at Washington State University. You know, I played a couple of years in the Arena Football League after that, and I got into coaching about 2012 and fell in love with it, and been an assistant from 2012 to currently now. I'm a head coach.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember meeting you with Coach Swain over there, and were you there before him and after him too?
Yes, I got there. I was a year before Swain. John O'Rourke, the original head coach there, he hired me the year before, worked under him, and then when Swain came on, I stayed on.
You know, when it comes to football, I think a lot of us, you've been attached to the 7-on-7 world. I know you train DBs. You know, we love to coach. From the beginning, did you see yourself as a head coach?
From the beginning, I kind of saw myself in coaching. My high school, we ran a youth camp while I was in high school, and I enjoyed working the youth camp. So I kind of had that love for just kind of giving back to the kids and teaching. I felt it helped me as a football player. If I can teach it, I can do it. So as I got going, I found coaching a way of easier for me to retire from playing football. I get to do a lot of the things I love to do with the game without hurting my body and making tackles and stuff, but I still get to do a lot of things. Rewarding coaching football these last few years.
Yes. So leading up to you getting hired as the head coach, what was your going back to what I said before, did you have an idea like, I want to try this as a head coach, or just be a D coordinator, or just be a defensive backs coach? How did that aspire in your thought processes?
At the time, my main goal as a coach, as I got into it, was always wanted to coach football. And I eventually thought, let me try college, and then I want to one day try to be a head coach. And, you know, as going into this season, I was ready to just push forward, be the best DC and assistant coach I can be. And then our head coach stepped down. I said, you know what, I think it's time, you know, at least throw my name in the hat, you know, to see if I can even go through the process or even get an interview, you know. So that was – people said I should try to be a head coach. I never really thought about it, because I just enjoy coaching. And I know it comes more to being a head coach, but, you know, I felt it was my time to try. Like, you know what? It's opportunities there. Let me try.
Yeah, I want to congratulate you, man, because I met you, you know, when Coach Swain was over there, and I think he was there for like 4 years. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then you were with a different head coach before that, which was what, another 1 or 2 seasons?
I was with John O'Rourke for 1 season before he retired. Got Swain, I think, Swain was there for 3, and then I worked under Brett Smedley for 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely your turn, man. I wish you the best of luck. Talk to us from your perspective on how you as a man, you as a family man, do you have kids?
I have a daughter.
And then how being a family man, how having a daughter, taking the family aspect into football, how do you do that and make it work?
You know, it's when parents bring me your kids, they're now mine. I'm like their uncle, their big brother, and sometimes father figure. And that's kind of, I want to give back to the parents, like, because it takes a village. You know, some parents need that extra help. Sometimes that coach is that extra support that parents need for their kids. And that's how I took it. My coaches, the coaches I had from I was 9 years old through, were like father figures, like uncles. And to this day, I still have relationships with those coaches. You know, some of my best friends, their dads were my coaches. And so I still have those relationships. And so I treat my student athletes like I would treat my own child. You know, sometimes you gotta slap them in the head. Sometimes you gotta hug them up. You know, that's the same way. You know, I tell parents that, I'm like, their kids are gonna get treated like they're mine. You know, I'm gonna do everything I can to put them in the right path. You know, that's how it is. It's big family, from my family supporting me with the football, supporting the kids and getting to know them. And, you know, that was always a big thing for me as a player, where my coach's family knew me You know, one of the first people I messaged when I got this job was my coach's wife, my defense coordinator's wife from high school, to let her know, like, hey, I did it, I made it. You know, so it's
Yeah.
that support. You know, it's yeah, it's like I said, football always been a family. I know everybody preaches family. It is. It's a big brotherhood. You know, so when we have these kids, we want to make sure we treat them like they're our own. We want them to move forward, and you know, like Warren's son, his son is in college, and I love when I see him and tell me how he's doing. I love those relationships.
That's right. That's right. It's always amazing, man, how whether we know it or not, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We share in the development of athletes, like you said, how it's a village with Warren's son working with you. You know, I've worked with them, strength training, sprint training. I still talk to him on occasion. I might call him when I go see Warren. We'll just give him a call down there at Western Oregon to check in on him. I wanted to switch lanes. You get the head coaching job. Obviously, it's a new responsibility. How do you compare and contrast that, excuse me, with your duties from before as a D coordinator or a defensive backs coach?
I was kind of involved a lot with the head coaching stuff. Swain and Brett kind of got me in, so I was kind of like a head assistant coach. So I got a little taste of it. It's a little bit more now. Again, got a fundraise. A little more the parents being a defensive coordinator and running the weights and stuff. I knew the parents, but I didn't have to interact with them a lot. Now I have to interact with the parents. It's a little more background work you have to do as a head coach. It's not all about X's and O's now. It's about making sure the pieces are connected in the back half so it can run smooth. So that's what I've been learning, and I actually kind of enjoying it right now. It's kind of fun to see that different part of the game, and let my coaches, my assistants coach, let them be the X's and O's, and I got to handle that. I can sprinkle in when I want to sprinkle in. It's going to be a little different. I know one thing I told everybody is it's going to be hard for me to give up my DBs. It's like I can possibly eventually let the DC slide, but DBs I can have those.
Yeah.
I think Nick Saban and a couple of coaches, they still coach positions. I don't think I'm at that point yet where I'm ready to give up coaching the position.
Yeah, I can understand that. Speaking of high school, your head coach now you probably might be responsible for managing the study hall or creating the study hall, checking grades, connecting with parents about their kids on their grades, what it takes to go to college, college entry exams and things of that sort. Talk to us about, especially the sports parents and the athletes that are listening to this, the importance of an education, going to school every day and going through the rigors of taking college preparatory classes if you aspire to play college football.
For us, I know at Columbia River, we're an IB school, so it's very high education. We're kind of the Stanford of high schools in Vancouver, per se. It's, what I tell our parents, and it's like, it's not even, to me, I was like, it's not even about your kid want to play college sports. I want to put your kid in a position to be able to go to college. So if they just want to go to school and get a degree, I want to make sure they're in position to get that. One of our team goals is always going to be our team goal, and I'm never going to stray from that. I want a team GPA over 2.2. And all the kids kind of asked why, and I was like, I want teams to come look at our school. I want colleges to come to our school because I know our athletes have good grades, and you put yourself in position to go to school. We're going to build in a study hall into our practice where we might practice, like right before practice, there's a study hall session. That counts as practice. That's our start of our practice. We're going to get 30 minutes of studying in. If you need to go meet with a teacher, that's your time, and then you're going to get to the field. But the education part, it's very important to understand the eligibility center. We're going to do right before our season this year. We did it last year also. Right before our season this year, we're going to have a parents one-on-one night, teaching them football, the skills of football, and then I'm going to go through the whole recruiting process. Show them the clearinghouse, the eligibility center. We have our free SATs and PSATs at our school, making sure our kids get signed up for that. I think that's a new rule in NCAA this year that the scores won't be required, but that's for Division I. If you go D2 or FCS, you might still need to qualify for some academic money, and having those SAT scores, that ACT score can help you get that extra scholarship money you need.
Yeah. My next question goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. in your experience, all the years that you've coached high school, middle school, whatever, football at the different levels, what is the biggest mistake that you've seen sports parents make?
The bigger mistake, not starting the process early. It's as early as, if you know your kid has aspirations of playing college sports, it is starting early, making sure they taking the right classes. Even it starts in middle school, because a lot of middle school credits can get moved up into high school. So you can set yourself up early to make yourself more successful. Asking questions, getting with the coaches, asking these questions, understanding the differences between the divisions, the different levels of college football. So it's that's kind of some of the mistakes I've seen some parents and some student athletes, and then sometimes some coaches, because it changed over the years since we played back in high school. It's just that process. And don't be afraid to ask questions. It's a lot of parents don't, and as of right now, being a new head coach, and I'm gonna tell the parents, don't be afraid to come ask me these questions about recruiting. Like, that's why I'm here. This is actually one of the reasons why I got into coaching, because as a high school athlete, when I was in high school, we didn't have the internet back then like that. And so we kind of had to go on our own. So now, knowing how this process works, I want to be a resource for you. So it's a lot of mistakes I've seen in the recruiting process is this not starting early. Don't be afraid to promote yourself. Yeah, I know it's a different era. You got to use your Twitter. You got to use your Instagram, promote yourself. That's where it's there for. That's just part of the game now. Making sure you start your highlights, making sure your huddle's up to date. That's important. I tell my players all the time, like, hey, if you don't start your highlights, that's telling me right now you don't even want to play college football. And that's fine. You don't, but don't tell me you do, and you don't start your highlights, you don't have your stuff upgraded, So you're not taking the right classes. It's, right now it's different from school to school. There's certain high school courses at your school that are not NCAA approved. So I know when our football 101 night, that's what I have. I found out how I can find out that information, and I share it and let them know. Don't take these classes, go to college, because they won't be accepted.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eyeball Media. I'm your host, Deshaun Fauntleroy. We're with Coach Dewayne Patterson, new head coach of Columbia River High School in Vancouver, Washington. It's just a short bridge away from Portland, Oregon. Now we're getting into the hot seat. This is the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We're into the 2-minute drill. Coach Patterson, real quick, what changes and what stays the same? You're in control now.
Tradition's always going to stay the same. That's Columbia River has a real big tradition, and that is never going to change. Our academic standards is never going to change at Columbia River. We're a high academic school. That's what we're going to be. We're always going to be that. I'm going to take pride in us being the Stanford of high school. That's going to be our pride. That's not going to change. Bring a little bit of swagger to us. I'm big on tradition myself. I'm very big on tradition, but I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar to it, make it a little sweet. But so how the game is. How I want the kids to be able to have some fun doing this. Be traditional, but have some fun with it. So it's the discipline. We've always been a very disciplined school, but I want to tweak it here to make it a little bit better for us. Sometimes it's the little things. Jumping off sides, we fix those things. But the things that are never going to change for me is the academic standards. The weight room are the backbone of our program. And it's not even for football for me. And I tell these kids, when I do these all season weights, all athletes lift weights. Guys that run track, play baseball, they lift weights. And so when I have this weight room session for you guys, I know you're playing basketball, but LeBron James and all these guys, they still lifting weights during basketball season. This is not for. When I tell them every time they come to weights, they say, "What we doing here? That was football." Nothing. I'm like, exactly. We're here to make athletes. So the weight room is going to be the backbone of our program. You can't win football games, and you can't win football games. You're not strong.
And you damn sure can win games without having a good defense. So
right.
Are we 4-4? We 4-3? We 3-4? We 4-2-5? What's our base package this year?
I'm always I'm a 4-3 guy, 4-2-5 guy. Sometimes it just depends on, I might come out here this spring and look and be like, you know what, I got a whole lot of linebackers. and I don't got a lot of D linemen. I want to be able to adjust the ball. I might be able to go to 3 front here and there, go to a nickel package, but my base, I'm a 4-3 guy, 4-2, a 4-2-5 guy. I love my cover twos. I love my zone defenses. Cover fours, cover sixes. So that's what we're going to be. Yeah, like I said, I'm being a head coach coming from a DC, so the team's going to be defensive heavy type. Defense wins championships like everybody. And so we're going to be defensive heavy, and it's going to kind of reflect on our offense. We're going to run the ball. Right now I know I want to run the ball, but we also got a lot of good receivers coming back this year, and we got to make sure they get the ball. And if we got to hand it off to them like Debo Samuels, hey, I got to get him the ball. We're going to be aggressive. Yeah, we're going to be aggressive on both sides of the ball. As I've been coaching and playing, and I reflected on my high school journey, we were a reflection of our coaches. Especially we were blessed enough to have a big enough team where we can play one-way football. And when you saw our defense, we reflected our defensive coordinator. Like his personality, like you saw us, you saw him. And so when you guys see Columbia River football, I want you guys to see me. I went back and I reached out to all my coaches that I played for, and they gave me some words. It was how I played. It was passion, relentless, resilient. That was some words they said, and that's what I want you to see when you see Columbia football.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, give 2 claps to Coach Patterson. If you're still listening, give 2 claps to our executive producer, Warren Edmondson. Warren has often heard me lament about this question when it comes to football athletes. So I'm going to ask you this, Coach, before we close out. How important is running track to the skilled players?
It's very important. I told right now most of our football players are running track. I said, you're either going to run with me or you're going to run with track. I'd rather you're on a ladder. It's very important. It's important. You're going to learn running mechanics. For our line, you're going to become explosive, learning shot put. It's just different skills. Like I was a long jumper, ran 100 meters, 4x1 in high school. I won a league championship in high jump. And my 40 was good because my mark from my long jump was like 30 yards. So I got used to accelerating. It's very important. I think playing multiple sports is important in general. I think one sport that helped me out in football was playing tennis. I took tennis lessons since I was 7 years old, and people didn't realize I didn't think about it until I got older. Playing tennis, running side to side, running forward, backpedaling. That's football movement.
Yep.
And so, but running track is very important. It's one of those things. It keeps you in shape. You kids that want to go to these camps and run these 40s, well, I'd rather you be in the best shape of your life because you're coming out of track and you know how to get at the blocks. You know how to run. You don't want to just hop in there. You haven't been running and got proper running mechanics. Now you're going to run a bad 40. Now the scouts know you ran a bad 40, and then that kind of can hurt your recruiting.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. We've been listening to Coach Dewayne Patterson, new head coach, Columbia River High School, Vancouver, Washington. Well, my brother, I appreciate you taking time to come on, especially on a Sunday. I know you got family obligations, it's off-season work, amongst other things. So we really appreciate you coming on. And I just want to give you congratulations on the new head coaching position. Peace and blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. You guys do big things in community. Like I know you guys both for a long time now. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Like it's exciting to see how much support I've been getting from everybody, and it's driving me right now. Having that support. Thank you so much.